My dear good people of Rivers State, the number of positive cases of COVID-19 pandemic continues to increase at an alarming rate in our state. Indeed, with a total of 866 positive cases out of 2,572 tested samples, Rivers State is gradually becoming the next epicenter of the virus in the south-south region of the country. Within this period, we have also recorded 30 deaths, including prominent persons as a result of the virus, while 356 persons have recovered and discharged from our treatment centers. As the number of new cases and deaths continue to increase, there's no more denying that coronavirus is both dangerous and deadly. This is the hard truth. We cannot also deny that the transmission of the virus in our state is currently on a steep upward trend, although the daily average number of new infections is still relatively low. This being so, we must all brace up to the reality of having further daily new infections and even a couple of deaths to this disease in the coming weeks and months. Arguably, COVID-19 pandemic is a big health and social challenge we have never encountered, which can snowball into a serious disaster unless we do the needful to stem the spread in our state. This was why we recognized that effective early response was the key to shutting down the virus and prevent it from progressing deep into our states and communities. And we did act with some of the most drastic measures and extraordinary efforts we could muster to prevent the spread of the virus and protect our citizens from its deadly effects. Unfortunately, some of our people deliberately twisted our intentions, maligned our timely measures, and exploited the attendant temporary hardship on our people to further their selfish political drives. Today, I'm sure with the daily worrisome numbers of new infections and the fear of possible calamitous community transmission, everyone is now seeing the results of the needless politicization of the fight against the coronavirus in our states and the premature rolling back of the measures we had earlier put in place. Nevertheless, we're encouraged by the fact that the virus can effectively be stopped from spreading further in our state and communities if only we all submit to the prescribed guidelines and best practice on social distancing as a matter of strict responsibility. Yet, and most unfortunately, a good number of state residents and visitors to our state are refusing to comply with the established guidelines and contributing to the increasing number of new daily infections in the state. This nonchalant attitude is not only wrong, it's most wicked and indeed a blatant violation of the rights of our people to good health and public safety. We therefore, again, appeal to all residents and visitors to treat the spread of COVID-19 with all seriousness by, 1, staying at home as much as possible. 2, avoiding contacts with others even when outside. 3, avoiding gathering in groups. 4, regularly washing your hands, and finally, regularly wearing face masks or covering in public places, including transport mediums. These remain the most imperative practices to stay safe and be protected from the spread of the virus in our states and communities. Some of these measures, especially the wearing of face masks and avoiding social gatherings, remain compulsory, and the security agencies are directed to enforce the law against violators. I wish to assure all that we shall continue to do all that we can in collaboration with well-meaning partners to stop the continued spread of the coronavirus in the States, but only with your help and full cooperation. Pursuant to this fundamental objective, we have reviewed the situation in Bonny Island, in Bonny Local Government, and Onne community in Eleme Local Government Area, and come to the conclusion that a total lockdown is necessary at this time to shut down the continued spread of the coronavirus in these two communities and local governments. Consequently, the State Security Council has imposed a total lockdown on Bonny Island and the entire Bonny Local Government Area and Onne community in Eleme Local Government Area of the state, respectively, from tomorrow, Sunday, June 21st, 2020, until further notice. By this measure, all residents of Bonny Island and the entire people of Bonny Local Government Area and Onne community in Eleme Local Government Area, except those of essential services and duly exempted by me, must stay at home. All shops, offices, and business places must remain closed. All gatherings, including religious, burial, and wedding activities, are prohibited in these two local government areas as it affects the communities we have mentioned. Onne in Eleme Local Government and the entire Bonny Local Government. All gatherings, including religious, like I've said before, are hereby prohibited. All entry and exit into the two communities, that is, the entire Bonny Island and Bonny Local Government Area and Onne community in Eleme Local Government Area, except those on essential services and those who have permission, which must be granted by the office of the governor. All those areas are banned. Security agencies have been directed to enforce the lockdown by arresting and prosecuting anyone who dares to disobey these directives. The coronavirus is here with us, and the number of infections is rising at frightening levels. Only today, we recorded 127 new cases, and our isolation and treatment centers are already overwhelmed. I wish to reiterate that this is not a time for playing games or politics. It is a moment to protect our state and our people from this deadly disease. We should therefore be prepared for a statewide lockdown if the number of new infections continue to increase unabated at this dangerous rate. The challenge, therefore, is for each and every one of us to avert the impending statewide lockdown by accepting and religiously performing our responsibility to reduce the risk of transmission and protect our people and our communities from this deadly disease. Thank you, and God bless you